Use soap to handle the winds of change. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1,444. Great number, right? All those fours. Of what's she up to now. Documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business and back and forth. So basically, business on and offline and how we grow and supersize and get better at it, right? How do we do the best job we possibly can creating what it is that we want in the world? I know that sounds huge and grandiose, but it's true because you wouldn't be listening to me if you didn't want to change the world. My t-shirt today says we can change the world. And winds of change was our idiom for supersize your business. Winds of change, of course, actually was born the same year I was in 1960. It's a relatively new idiom and expression, but it means and reminds us that change is inevitable. Things are going to change all the time, at least outside of us, that we can't control. But we can always control the changes that happen and how we choose to respond to them from within us. We always have that personal power and control. And I use the example of the COVID pandemic as being one of those unplanned times of crisis type events for a lot of us in our personal lives as well as in the businesses and our business lives and in our jobs. And if you're a business owner like I am, it had huge impacts both on a personal and professional level. And most everybody who works for a business and who has a job was somehow impacted. If you were in an industry that had to ramp up because of the requirements of COVID and the mandates and everything, and because you were what did they call it? An essential worker. If you're in an essential industry, my son-in-law, for example, is a lineman. He was training to be a journeyman lineman during the pandemic and became a journeyman lineman last year. They were essential workers the whole time. They didn't miss a beat. They worked all the time. But there were, millions and millions of other people that were displaced, sent home with their kids, all different changes and challenges that we faced. And my response to that was to develop something called the Get Up and Go Challenge. And so 10 times in 2021, we did the 30-plus day Get Up and Go Challenge. Why 30 days? Because it takes 30 days to really understand, internalize, create, and change, and make it your own, any framework, any change, any challenge that we face, any way to deal with something, a new process, a new habit. I don't ascribe or subscribe to the belief that it takes 21 days to form a habit. And why? Because I did research in that and found out that one motivational speaker said it once about a study that was unrelated to overall habits. It was about bad habits, not good habits. And it's like so many other things. They take one piece of information and it gets changed and morphed. It's like the telephone game, and applied to things that it doesn't even apply to. Think pharmaceuticals. There are a lot of drugs that were created and studied in the pharmaceutical industry for the cure or the application in one situation, and all of a sudden they're being used for dozens or hundreds of others that haven't been studied, haven't been planned, aren't necessarily appropriate for the amount of side effects, etc. So we do that in all areas, all industries, all walks of life, and it's not always a good thing. Sometimes it's beneficial, but for the most part, not a guaranteed benefit to anyone. So I don't ascribe to that 21 days to change a habit. And I think people get set up for failure when they believe that. How many beliefs do we have that set us up for failure? Like all of us, hundreds or thousands, because we believe something and we don't even know that it's founded in fact, or it might not work for us. Some people can probably form a new habit instantly. There's areas and aspects and situations where I have formed a new habit instantly. The first time I did it and decided it and made a decision and a commitment and a choice, I decided, and then that was my new thing. That was my habit. I wasn't going to let myself off the hook for it. And there's other things like maintaining my ideal and perfect weight that it goes up and down and up and down, up and down, right? And of course it changes over time depending on my health. But I mean, for the most part, there are habits and changes that we automatically adopt, and it doesn't take 21 days. And there's our others that we work on for years, and we may not ever actually make them habits or make them part of our life in the way that we think that we want. Now, if I wanted to absolutely control and maintain my ideal weight, and it was a super priority to me, I guarantee I would do it. But since it's not a high priority for me, although most people would say it should be, I don't make sure that that happens in my life all the time, consistently over decades, right? So I forgot why I was talking about this. Oh, I decided what to do with the Get Up and Go challenge. I'm not going to be doing the specific, I don't think, Get Up and Go challenge in 2022. I did it 10 times in the last 2 years. So the 30 plus day challenge, again, 30 days, because that's how long I think it takes to really practice it in all different areas and aspects of your life, the SOAP framework, that is, and make sure that you can apply it comfortably going forward without any extra help or anything. Although you can get that if you ask, right? So this year I'm doing my own 365-day challenge called the BU 365-day challenge, to do one thing every day that improves you. Well, as part of that, I decided, instead of using one of these little journal books I've used in the past for fun, stretching my comfort zone, happiness, and get centering, I decided this year it was going to be all about continuous improvement for myself and for other people, but I'm incorporating into it the SOAP framework. And because why? Because the SOAP framework is like any other framework. It's just the one I came up with when COVID happened that works for me, because almost everything in our lives in the world can be boiled down to a simple 4-step process, right? Almost anything. Sometimes it's a 3-step process. If you think about the law of attraction, be, do, have, ask, believe, receive. I mean, those are 3-step processes to create and get whatever you want. It can be 3, it can be 5, it can be whatever you want, but around 4, 3 to 5, and 4 seems to be the number of steps involved in just about any process or framework that we need. So simple 4-step process, simple 3-step process, simple 5-step process, whatever it is for you. Mine happens to be a simple 4-step process. So over the course of this year, for the first 9 months of the year, we're going to go through and apply the SOAP framework once each month to the different areas and aspects of your life. Now, some people, again, have 12, 5, 7, 4. I had 7 for decades, but now 9 areas and aspects of my life that I talk about. And they are, I'm just going to pull my awesome graphic up here: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution. And then in April of 2021, I added communication and confidence, because they're basic core skills that we all want to have and be continually improving, because they impact all the other areas and aspects of our life, right? Can you think of an area or aspect of your life that communication doesn't apply to? I don't know. I don't know what it would be. It applies physically, it applies mentally, it applies emotionally, spiritually, financially, relationships for sure, and contribution. How do you contribute to other people and things outside of yourself if you're not communicating? Same is true of confidence. The more confidence we have, the more likely we are to take action in each and every one of these areas of our life, right? If I was confident 100% that I could just pick my ideal weight and maintain my ideal weight forever, which I should choose that as a belief, I would just do it. And if we're just being what we want, all of a sudden we have the things that are associated with the what we want. So we'll talk about that, of course. But that's what I decided to do with the Get Up and Go challenge. Instead of doing it usually every other month for 30 days and covering all 9 areas every other month, we're going to spread it out and really go deep each month into January's physical, February's emotional, because love and Valentine's Day. March is mental, our mindset and things. April is spiritual, because it's Easter, and it's, I don't know what order to do them in. And I want to show that it doesn't matter what order we think about things in. I just happen to memorize physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence. And I mix up the C's sometimes. So it doesn't matter what order, it's what is most important to you. If I have got an illness or a diagnosis and I'm sick, physical goes from maybe 4 or 5 on my list of priorities, all the way it zips up to number 1. It's my most important priority, right? If I have COVID hit and my business gets shut down, financial might go from 6th or 7th on my list of priorities all the way up to number 1, because I got to know, how am I going to feed my family? So it's different all the time. And so that's why I want to make sure I cover them all. So over the first 9 months, we'll go over each one of those. And then in October, November, December, I'll decide what we're going to do. This is my, this is actually my annual planning calendar for this year's challenge. Excuse me. The last 4 years, I actually bought at the cabin and just used these little journal books. This first book I didn't get at the cabin. I got it when I was doing a network marketing business with one of my friends. And they were teaching us to do things in a way that didn't feel right to me. So it was way outside my comfort zone. So I got my friend and I this book. And we worked on it together for about a week. And then we both quit. Because even though it's quick and easy to do, it was doing one thing every day that scares you, was to stretch our comfort zone. We didn't do it. So in 2018, I decided, oh, maybe it was 2017. Let me see. I got to look in here. Yeah, 2018. So in 2018, I did one thing every day that stretched my comfort zone. 2019, I was going through a lot of personal changes and transitions. So I decided I want to do one thing every day that made me happy. I wanted to be happier. 2020, just by coincidence, I wanted to have more fun. So I did one thing every day, one fun thing every day. And that was perfect because I got to hang out with my granddaughter during COVID. And so we did this and we did fun things every day. We made our own brainstorm list of fun things to do, but we also did one fun thing every day. And last year we did one thing every day that centers us, to just get to know ourselves better, which led me to thinking, all right, I am all about be you, be loving, love being, be you. So why would I not do my annual challenge on that? So we started out doing that. I started out without a plan. I hate to admit that, but I absolutely positively thought, oh, I'll just think of something every day, pretty much like I do Supersize Your Business. But Supersize Your Business, I talk about an idiom every day. And I actually looked that up the night before. I look up the origin, where it came from. I see what I can find about it. And then at night, as I'm sleeping, I think of things related to growing and building and supersizing my businesses that applies to, or other people building their businesses. How could you apply this to your business? And I thought I could do the same thing with the BU 365-day challenge. And I realized that I used to do this segment to wake my voice up every day. And I found I was getting stressed out because it wasn't a quick, easy knockoff of just read something and talk about what it means to me. It was, I got to come up with a topic, and it's harder to come up with a topic in the morning. So I decided I was going to get a calendar, got this Gerton's calendar from my sister for Christmas. So I thought, well, I'm just going to write on each day what I want to talk about, what I'm going to talk about. So I've got a word or two of the topic I'm going to talk about. And I started that, and then I started thinking, okay, what do I do every day? What are things that I personally do every day that I know have helped move the needle from where I am to where I want to go? And how can I build that into this BU 365-day challenge? So I just kind of decided this morning as I was doing it and thinking about it, I'm going to combine the Get Up and Go challenge and put that in to the annual challenge. But instead of it being all crammed into 30 days and covering all the 9 areas and the whole framework and all the things, I'm going to spread it out, and each month will be a specific topic on what we're doing with respect to that whole area and aspect of our life. So the whole month of January, we're talking about our physical world, our physical bodies, our environment, our everything that has to do with physical things in our life. And then in February, we'll talk about our emotional health, right? March, our mental health. April, our spiritual health. May, financial, I think. I think May is financial. June is relationships. July is contribution. I'm guessing now. It doesn't matter. We'll get to them as we get to them. But I think that that's going to be a better way to handle it. And I don't have to be all stressed out every day thinking about what I'm going to talk about, because I have it all mapped out on the calendar. I also have done some fun things. One of the things I do every day, and not every day, I've done it for a long time, but I haven't done it since I've been doing the annual challenge, really, is I love these card decks. So you can see, if you look at this, it's a whole bunch of different card decks. So what I've done is I've sorted out and I've looked at, okay, what are ones that have to do with, this is confidence, self-esteem, confidence. And I pulled out all the cards for that and looked at them in the confidence. And I might, I haven't decided yet, I might just shuffle them up and then every day share one, just to really actually to warm up my voice and then start talking about the day's topic. So we'll see. But I've separated them out in the calendar because I think I love these. And I'm like, why would I not share something that I love with other people? And over the course of the challenge, I'll share my habits, my rituals, my morning routines, the things that I do, the little tricks and strategies I use to create the things I want in my life and to move me toward what my definition of success is every day in little ways that create automatically the achievement of my goals and objectives for the year, because I'm doing something every day. And then I'll also share the big things that I do, right? The bigger blocks, the bigger projects. All right. I'm done rambling. Any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.